Hello, my name is Jonathan Bentley, and I am so proud to be a part of TNG. I remember back when I met Natalie and Noel, first time, before we were branded TNG, before we were exclusive TNG, in the old office way across town, and I just saw these two sisters that really cared about what they wanted to achieve. And so we sat and we talked about the future and the possibilities, and I'm like, I want to be aboard this. I think good things are going to happen, and I feel like I was right. And after we moved to this new location and got branded, things really changed fast for me. They even changed my whole profile, my look, and made me a classic model. I wasn't quite ready for the grays, but they're like, Jonathan, you need to have those grays. So I trusted them. And I'm glad I did, because it's really opened up a lot of avenues for me, working in LA and San Francisco and down in Phoenix, Wilhelmina, Denver, and just broadened my horizons, and I couldn't be more grateful. When I first got into TNG, they're my mother agency, and we hit Vegas hard, kind of hit the ceiling within the first 2 years, so I'm like, I need to branch out, get some more agencies. So Jason, my man, he hooked me up first. He got me agency in Los Angeles with NTA. We got Look models out of San Francisco, Ford Robert Black out of Phoenix, and Wilhelmina, Denver. And they've been throwing some good stuff at me. Got me some national commercials, and really, again, my platform has broadened, which has given me a lot more experience, which I love. I want to talk about my first major booking with TNG, okay? It was my first national commercial, MGM Park Casino here in Las Vegas. And it was my first national exposure. It was a flash in the pan. You saw my face for a minute, but being on set, being on a SAG set, union set, and just seeing how the process went, getting that kind of experience really gave me a new perspective on, hey, I got in here this time, I can get it again. And now I know what I'm expecting. And then another year and a half went by, I landed another one out of Wilhelmina, Denver. It was Kia National World Cup. And so I flew to Denver to shoot it, and I remember it was a couple days. Union jobs, they spread it out. They really give you a feel. It was a family. I played the father and the mom. The son was driving home from college just to see the World Cup with his dad, Papa. And you know, the moment that I loved was just the way that we looked at each other. I gave him a big hug, and you know, it's a national commercial. It will be forever one of my faves. And I think the next one, which was a total left turn from me, wasn't even about me. In fact, they put a mullet on me. So we did the new branding for Olipop, and this was the new ginger ale. And they wanted an in-flight experience. So on set, they created the inside of an airplane with these neon greens and color. I mean, the creative team was fantastic. And they come up with these characters, larger than life characters. Mine was like a Bono character with the glasses and the cowboy hat, and I had the mullet. And it was just such a great experience to work at that creative level, you know, being a character, not yourself, and just seeing a new branding happen again. Because now I've got more experience seeing how people are developing their marketing from both sides. And that gives you an upper hand when you go into your next audition, because you kind of like know what they're looking for. So you know, you can read through the lines better. And I'm just so grateful to get all these experiences. I was 21 years old, and I wanted to get headshots for a modeling agency that was up in Ann Arbor, from Michigan, a small town. And so I hired a photographer to give me my headshots, and he took one look at me and he said, I'll tell you what, I got an auto parts catalog. How about you shoot for me, and I'll trade you headshots and pictures for this auto parts catalog. And we became friends ever since. That was my first job, my first experience, which then led to so many other experiences in my 20s and then in my 30s. The market for me back then was, I looked like 100 other guys. So it wasn't quite as refined, you know, as it is now as a classic. You know, there's quite a few classics, but with 20 or 30 years experience, staying with it. I learned so much in my 20s, auditions, cattle calls, and it was brutal. And you had to have the heart and the passion to stick with it. A lot of people give up too soon. They really want to be a model, but hey, you got to grind it out to get to the money, so to speak. So, and then through my 40s, I took shift in my career along the way to do some fun stuff, aerial acrobatics, and joined the circus at 30. But I still did modeling in between those moments. And as I've gotten older and more mature and distinguished looking, it's just opened up a marketing that is being used now oh so much. Thank you, George Clooney. Thank you, all the men with the blended salt and pepper that are being used now. What we do. So with that being said, the journey of modeling has been such a fun experience. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. And I'm grateful every day that I get to be on set. Some of the sacrifices that we make as models, and that I have made along the way, are some of the biggest, I think, are our diet, taking care of ourselves, our sleep, our exercise, and our activities that go into creating our energy so that we seem maybe a little bit larger than life. We come across with this bright shining light of energy that can be captured on film, on photographs. Anytime I need motivation, I always think about that next job that's coming. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be in a swimsuit, okay. So just make that little bit of an extra attempt to take care of myself and understand what that is. And I love the discipline. It makes me a better person to be more disciplined. I think modeling has, it's just been one of those lifelong commitments, and I'm enjoying it. I did make it to SAG full screen movie with Sandra Bullock, Miss Congeniality 2. I had a week contract as a actor, model, / stunt guy. And just being around that caliber, like sitting next to them in these chairs, and here's William Shatner, and here's Sandra Bullock, and just shooting the shit, talking like normal people, just laughing, hanging out. And just then go see them work, where their focus is at, and what the agenda is. It's a game changer. I would have to say that one, probably because it lifted me even more, gave me more drive. It was my first big audition, live stunt show in LA for Universal Studios. They were changing the old Miami Vice boat show up at Universal's catwalk, and they turned it into the Waterworld show. And I had jet ski experience. I was already a diver. I'm like, oh, I got this. And I put my heart and soul into it. And I really thought, but oh, little did I know about the business back then, that almost all the stunt guys from the Miami Vice show were already employees at Universal Studios, and they were a shoo-in, and it was a big publicity thing, which I get it, brand new show going in. So learning about the industry and learning how much you care, how much it pulls your heartstrings when you don't get something, gave me such a perspective moving forward. Months later, after I cried myself to sleep a bunch, to not take that stuff home. As much as we do care about what we do and we want to get the job every time, just go ahead and go do your best work and on to the next. There's another audition right around the corner. What advice would I give my younger self when I look back on how I behaved in my 20s versus how I am now? And I'm still learning now almost every day. But for sure, when I was younger, if I was to talk to myself, I would say, slow down, take a good look inside, find your authentic self. You're putting on a show, you think it's this, you think it's that, you think all these things, you're just throwing paint on the wall hoping it sticks. But when you really find an authentic feeling or movement, you show up and that presence is felt real. And so when they capture that, and I'm literally just starting to get this stuff in the past few years on auditions and stuff, I can tell the difference. So I would just slow myself down and say, hey, look in the mirror, find out who you are, and then bring that guy.